I mean, the way that we write, we don't really sit down and go, okay, we're going to write an album, it's going to be about this.
I did. I lost my mind for a while, probably a year.
Kind of like, just broke us open a little bit to be a lot more candid and honest with each other.
Yeah, it's probably why this record sounds a bit chaotic, because we were coming off a pretty weird, chaotic time.
Which is pretty crazy, that even in that state we wrote an album.
Yeah.
Be a funny word to use, but the deep to me is a deeply worshipful song. You know, putting that much earnestness in a song felt very vulnerable. It made it the perfect opening to The Warning though, which, you know, is an album that was forged in such an emotionally tumultuous time for us as a band. It feels larger to me than any song we've put out before. Like, there's an expansiveness and wideness to it, not just lyrically but sonically.
I think of this lyrically as a bit of a modern day gospel song. My favourite gospel music has always been the songs with a yearning and a desire for something greater, a bigger sense of purpose, you know, something to mitigate the aches and pains of life in a way to make sense of suffering. But the best songs, in my opinion, in the gospel world don't necessarily offer a clear answer or resolve to that question. It's only through the act and practice of faith that peace may be given. I think it's a song of longing, but also a song filled with hope.
Bit Crush is a bit of a critique on how our communication with one another in the modern world feels like way more one way, and how what we really mean gets so lost and distorted and confused. Like there's a Bit Crush effect over everything.
Yeah, we need Bit Crush where you go, huh, and then it goes, That's my favourite lyric.
I do love that.
It kind of grows.
Yeah.
I actually do remember making that.
Me too.
Yeah, Ange wanted to throw a whole heap of stuff in the song before we went into
Oh yeah, Slow Dance Under the Sky. Is life just a slow dance until we die?
We've never done a song that's not in 4/4, you know, to be one stand on that, maybe don't mean boof, 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 that's 4/4, but this one's the chorus is this question of what, you know, what is existence, what is life? Is it just a slow dance until we die?
And you know, the earth is spinning. It's just like this constant slow dance. We're just kind of doing our thing. Like, is that all there is to life? Like, you're just kind of on the slowly turning earth and then you die. A lot of existential questions on this album.
When was the last time you played this song? Is that okay?
I think it started with the initial guitar is just like a voice memo that Josh did on his iPhone. And I think we ended up keeping that in the actual recording.
I think In the Name You Love's one for me that took a while to decide that I felt good about it.
I cry and I curse and I scream at the heavens above. That's one of those interesting lyrics that I can definitely relate to, but it's definitely one that came from Josh's heart. And so it's interesting being the singer of the band and kind of tapping into expressing other people's feelings or finding a way that it relates to me as well.
The idea that if you knock, the door will open. If you seek, you will find. That the heavens are waiting for you. There is a higher power waiting to embrace you, and all you have to do is surrender and let go. But in my experience, it's probably the hardest thing to do, and an experience I don't think I've ever truly had, and it's one that I've desired a lot throughout my life and still desire it.
We'll keep playing till we get it right.
Yeah. Okay, are you gonna start, man?
1, 2, 3, 4.
But like with a song like Paralysis Ghost, if certain chord progressions that Josh is playing with feel aligned to how I'm feeling that day, or the cloud that's surrounding me of that time in my life, I will be like, yeah, I love those.
Ange wrote the majority of all of the lyrics for this. I think in one sort of go, we were working in the studio and she came out into the living room in my house while Ed and I were still just tweaking some silly sound or something.
The day before that, I think we'd gone to see like Harry Potter the musical, and the next day we wrote that song. There's one moment where like the Dementors come out, and I don't know if you've ever had sleep paralysis, but like it kind of felt a little bit like that.
Yeah, Dementors, paralysis ghosts, UFOs, whatever the scary thing is, they're a metaphor for inner demons and how trying to face them on your own can cause you to isolate. So it's better to come back down to earth and fight them face on, along with some friends.
Mountain Lion is probably the one that I feel most personally. Yeah, just like the fragility of being quite an insecure person, feeling like you're quite breakable, but going through life and having to choose to be courageous even when you don't want to be.
I like that guitar line. That one felt exciting to work on. I remember when we wrote that, it was kind of like, oh, maybe this is, the album's kind of coming together, like sonically.
When I lived in LA, there were these signs all around Griffith Park that was like, if you see a mountain lion, don't run, but like make yourself as big as possible, wave your arms around, jump on a friend's shoulders, like make lots of noise to sort of prove to it that you're bigger. If you run, it will chase you. I just thought that was like such an interesting kind of, yeah, snapshot of scary things in life. Like sometimes you do just have to stand and face it, and running away can actually make it worse.
Angelina and I will bring whatever we're feeling to a writing session of writing lyrics and bounce off each other. And I think through a tumultuous period while we were writing those lyrics has definitely informed so much of the theme of the album.
I just remember that synth that you have.
You mean
You know that?
Yes, the crazy sound that comes in at the end.
Yeah. We'd always hit that synth accidentally and it would make that sound, and we'd laugh and be like, we'll never know how to use this sound at all.
To pull it off,
and then we put it into that song and we were like, oh wow.
Fault Line, I was trying to warn you, is a pretty obvious one. That whole song to me was like, that was probably the closest point to rock bottom, where I was just like, oh, this, like there's so many red flags.
I think I sort of realized, I guess I'm a bit of an addict in that I like naughty things. While we were writing a lot of this album, I was going through a bit of a process of that and was getting a little bit out of hand. And it was starting to, really affect my life and affect my family and my relationships.
You've got family and friends and everyone kind of trying to get around you and be like, this is bad. Like you gotta sort this out before the consequences are kind of irreversible. Just feeling like you're watching someone on a fault line.
I'm very, very close with my sister, and there's a line in the song like, brothers keep her standing in the line of fire, which is sort of about my sister trying to help me. I think that when I hear that and hear Ange sing it, who is also someone who was trying to help me during that period and also really cares about me, it does make me feel quite emotional. Heartbeats was a song that Ed had written a lot of the music. Sometimes, one of us will come in and we've been playing with something and we're a little coy. I don't know, it's not finished yet, but you guys want to hear a little something now. Don't judge it too harshly, and you press play, and I think it was one of those, and you played it for us, and maybe he was a bit shy or something. Yeah, sounds dope. That's really, really cool. Is that it?
Wow, that's crazy that you know that.
Weird playing another man's bass line.
Try and avoid it if you can.
And he brings that stuff, like so much is in the textual, the beats. I think a lot of our songs could easily go in a direction of being just quite classic. It makes it cool.
It makes us cool, yeah.
I think it was made a lot here in terms of like the original idea. But I think I took it to the band and was like, let's just see how this goes. Sorry, the bridge is quite dark in it, which is cool. It still fits because it's like all Ange's voice, so I feel like it ties everything together, but in my eyes it's like kind of like light relief from like quite a dark record. So yeah, I think we all kind of liked it, like when we made it, but we're like, does it fit on a record? And see whether people think that one's completely out of place or not. Like I kind of liked that it might be considered out of place.
Empire's one of those ones where I came up with that guitar part while I was just sitting on the couch. What makes that song really special, I think, is the whole sort of back end of the song and the emotional, I feel like, distress that Ange captures so perfectly with those lyrics. I think that the line that I would have put in is the devil's in disguise. I always put devils into songs.
The devil's in disguise. I think for me, at the point I was at in my life while we were working on the song, the line refers to the temptations of escape offered by, illicit, more dangerous things, elixirs that promise freedom, but ultimately can just cause more pain.
Josh and I often have conversations through the lyric writing, like rather than an actual conversation. And when we wrote the song, I was feeling super low. The opening line is, "Hello, my morbid blues, welcome to the empire of my room." Josh was struggling deeply with addiction, and coming into the studio, we never knew what state he'd be in. I absorb others' pain easily, so it hit me hard too, and writing this song was a way of processing all of that while holding on to hope. Throw my arms around the morning sun, there's a bit of glitter that falls for everyone. We all hurt, we all try, and that matters.
Burning hard, then burning low again.
That's one of the songs where I had started writing the lyrics in the studio, so it's probably because you looked like you hadn't slept for a few days. And I was like, Josh gets a rough time.
Like a pendulum,
Yeah, this song means quite a lot to me. The lyrics, climbing up the walls, waiting for a miracle, feels super poignant to what I was going through at that moment of my life. It's pretty self-explanatory, really. Ange and I were writing this together, and I was trying to get clean and sober at that point, and part of the 12-step program that I was learning is about finding a higher power and sort of the act of letting go and handing your will over to something bigger than yourself.
Let's write a ballady, acoustic-driven or piano-driven. So many of the songs was like built around like a really frenetic kind of bleepy-bloopy beat interaction.
Totally.
And then it was like, let's just
Whip out
a
the killer.
classic, made it on the album and makes sense on there, even though it is quite different in that way.
Yeah, I feel it's like some light at the end of the tunnel, that song, like it ends in a really like beautiful way. Yeah, we all kind of agreed like that would be a really strong end to a record.
Up until that point, the record's a lot darker, I guess. So the song's like a flicker of hope right at the end, an expectation that things are going to get better.